Winthrop Eagles falling at home on Sunday to the New Hampshire Wildcats, 65-60 in favor of UNH. The first time ever the two schools have met together on the hard court, and UNH did it in a variety of ways, taking advantage of turnovers. Even though the official turnover numbers aren't that varied, they were able to take advantage of those turnovers against the Eagles and three-point shooting. But Bobby Stevens for the Winthrop Eagles, you can't say anything if you don't mention Xavier Cooks and the performance he put on, because one for the ages, unfortunately, in a Winthrop loss.
Well, Mike, he was 12 for 17 from the floor, 4 for 5 3-point range. He had 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 steal. I mean, he was like a wrecking crew, one-man team in the second half, and that's what kept them close to the game in the second half.
Yeah, he had finished with 30 points. You mentioned 12 of 17 shooting and 4 of 5 from threes, and a lot of those timely baskets. But unfortunately for the Winthrop Eagles, they ran into a team that got hot in the second half, and three-point shooting was a big part of that.
Well, the first half, the Eagles did a great job of closing out on the arc and held them to 2 for 16 in the second half. And Dion, who only scores 1 basket in the second half, happened to be the 3-ball at a critical part of the juncture. But New Hampshire scores 10 threes, 30 points in the second half off 10 shots, 10 for 22 just from the arc.
Yeah, Dion finishes 4 threes, 12 points. Watkins had 1 3 in the second half, finishes with 11 points total. Eagles were able to do some work inside, and they had the advantage inside against UNH.
Well, they did, Mike. One of the things, that they did some scoring, but, a couple stats that really jump out at me is, and it's hard for me to understand, is how the Eagles, which is a transition-type team, does not score in transition. There's 0 in that area. And then, of course, the other critical stat is the rebounding. They got out-rebounded today, 51 to 35, but 18 offensive boards for New Hampshire and only 6.
Yeah, and the offensive glass tells the story, too. 18 offensive boards for New Hampshire against 6 for the Winthrop Eagles. You see the shooting percentage, a lot of stats favoring Winthrop. Field goal percentage, the big one, but the free throw line was an issue today. Rebounding was an issue today. And Winthrop goes on to suffer their second loss. But this was against a good team, and you can take some positives away from this, because playing against a good team, this is a type of game you will see tournament style. So this is something that, even though they lose, I think they can get some benefits out of it.
Well, this is a team coming off, Detroit, Mercy, and everything. They had a great win on the road. They're well coached. They shoot the 3-ball. They really move the ball around the perimeter. The second half, New Hampshire went to a 4-out, 1-in, really moved the ball around. Of those, those 10 shots in the second half, Mike, 4 of them were like fall-aways. I mean, Winthrop was in a good defensive position. The one Dion, the shot clock was running down. The one up front, Smith, was falling away behind the arc. So it wasn't like the Eagles weren't around. It's just that they just ran into a hot shooting team tonight.
Well, they did run into a hot shooting team. They fall 65-60. Winthrop will be back in action on Wednesday when they welcome Furman at 6:30. We'll hope you join us on the Big South Network.